There are a lot of procedurally generated games available on mobile devices, and while some of these games are a bit more action-focused than their roguelike counterparts, the appeal of a game where the challenge and levels are kind of produced at random is that they're perfect for on-the-go, repetitive, short-burst gaming. If you have 5 minutes waiting on the bus, or maybe a half hour to relax after work, you can enjoy something that's not going to get stale too quickly and can be enjoyed in whatever amount of time you're willing to give it. That's one of the avenues that mobile gaming is really successful with. There's a lot of variety to find in these procedurally generated games, but there's one game that's got me just absolutely hooked on it. When gravity and bullets meet, this is Downwell. Retro-inspired in both its looks and gameplay, Downwell puts you in control of a character who's jumped into an amazingly deep well in search of treasure and adventure. Equipped with his gun boots that let him not only attack monsters, but also help control his descent, you have to guide this single-color explorer to the depths of the well, collecting power-ups and avoiding traps along the way. The premise is extremely simple, which complements Downwell's old-school charm. It's like something you'd see on the Game Boy back in the day, only far twitchier and amazingly fast-paced. You start off with your basic machine gun module for your gun boots, allowing you to shoot a handful of bullets, be it to destroy monsters or obstacles, or to help control your downward trajectory. Once out of ammo, you need to make contact with something in order to reload. A monster, preferably one that won't hurt you for landing on top of it, or a ledge will let you reload your boots for another assault. The monsters can come at you from just about anywhere, but you'll typically be able to see most of what's coming ahead as you descend deeper into each level. Stomping on enemies or shooting them will add them to your combo, and at certain points you'll gain rewards for chaining so many kills together. From more gems, another ammo charge, to even health recovery. And you'll need all of those, because Downwell is absolutely relentless. A simple game to pick up and enjoy, but making it to the bottom is an immense, yet extremely addicting challenge. Your starting machine gun boots are not your only offense, of course. Hidden in caves are different modules like a shotgun, triple shot, laser, and more. Each of these use your ammo charges in different amounts, with modules like the laser and shotgun taking up a large chunk to deal impressive damage, but can really spell doom in the early parts of the game since you won't have many charges to slow you down as you fall headlong into the unknown. If you can survive the monsters that litter each section of the well, you'll be able to select a random power-up and head into the next level, where the challenge only ramps up each time. There's shops you can spend gems at and gain health and ammo charges, but the cost increases with each of Downwell's sections, so things can get really tricky the further down you go. The retro aesthetic of Downwell helps make the game as accessible and as charming as it is. You have nothing to distract you from your targets and goals since the graphics are rather minimal, but they're minimal while still showing an incredible amount of character. Visiting the shops hidden in the well and leaping behind the counter is fun because of how the character reacts, and each of the monsters are varied and interesting, and some are even cute. The expressions and poses of the player character are also fun to see, and I feel a more detailed graphical presentation might have had to sacrifice part of this charm. I don't think Downwell would have been the same game with, say, even a 16-bit coat of paint or even a hand-drawn look. Nothing against those types of games, plenty pull those styles off really well, but so few modern games can make that ZX Spectrum style of graphics really as cool as Downwell does. Downwell is hard. It took me several attempts and many days to get to the final level and fight the final boss. And it was a lot more attempts after that it took me to actually beat him. Thankfully, Downwell includes several different styles when you begin playing, from only finding gun power-ups instead of chunks of gems, to starting with more health and weighing more. Downwell's variety in even these basic modes help add different kinds of challenge to each playthrough, and trying each one is the best way to get a completely different experience. And when you do finally beat the last level, you'll unlock hard mode, which only adds to the already difficult challenge the game tosses at you originally. When you die in Downwell, it's back to the very first cavern with you, with no gems, no power-ups, nothing, and that's something you get used to really quickly. Each of Downwell's levels are generated anew when the game begins, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I know I can play a few short levels quickly, and chances are I'll die after a few anyway, or if I have 20 minutes, a half hour, something like that, I can sit down and really focus on having a great run. Simply put, Downwell is addicting. When I fail at a level, I hop right back up and try again, trying to get further than I did last time, and having a blast each time I do. This is a hard game to put down. but each round of Downwell doesn't last long enough for that to really become a problem. Now, of course, we have to talk about the controls. Downwell was built from the ground up as a mobile experience, so the developers took extra care to make sure the controls were as simple as possible with only 3 buttons. The button areas are large enough to hit with your thumbs easily, and even if you turn their display off, you know where to tap in order to get your character to move and shoot where you want. That doesn't mean it's perfect, as controls will always be best with these types of games with a tactile input. But that doesn't mean it's an abysmal mess like some critics of any form of mobile games would lead you to believe. However, if you are absolutely against trying a mobile game, Downwell is available on PC through Steam. Downwell is still a great game when you play it on a keyboard too. However, the short nature of Downwell and how easy it is to pick up and dive into the well each time make it a perfect addition to anyone's inventory of mobile games. Both the PC and mobile versions are dirt cheap and can be picked up for probably less than the soundtrack, which is awesome as well. So if you are even remotely interested in the game, there's a version of Downwell available for you. Downwell is an absolute blast to play, and I'm not the only one who's been addicted to it for a long time. And I'm sure once you give it a shot, you'll be willing to strap on your gun boots and leap into the well time and time again, just like I have. Thanks for watching this episode of Mobility. Be sure to subscribe to be sure you never miss an episode of the 8-Bit Duke and the rest of the Mobility Show. If you want to see more on Downwell, my friend Balrog the Master is currently addicted to the game as well, and you can check out his thoughts on it over on his channel right now.